Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Momiwá, a family drama that balances heartfelt emotion with a few laugh out loud moments. This recap will follow the film closely, but there are still plenty of reasons to watch the full movie on Prime Video. Spoiler alert, we're covering major plot points from the first part of the story. Now, let's jump in. Our story begins with Naeto, sometimes called Dadiwa, sprinting through the neighborhood, his shirt stained and panic in his voice. Neighbors are pounding on his front door, desperate to reach the crying baby locked inside. Naeto finally arrives, waving the key. The door bursts open, revealing his young daughter, Vida, and her baby brother, alone and terrified. Their mother is nowhere in sight. The film doesn't answer that question yet, but the tension is palpable. Why were these children left alone? Next, we meet Chinonso, better known as Momiwá. Her morning routine establishes her as the heart of this household. With soft music playing, she tidies the house, lays out Naeto's shirts, his watch, and other essentials, and keeps everything in its place. She's the sort of person who would straighten a bed and hum a prayer in the same breath. We then see her with the children. The two little ones we met earlier, Vida and Abel, are dressed for school. Before they leave, she gathers them for a daily affirmation and prayer. The Lord keep me safe and sound in Jesus' name. It's a tender moment that shows how Momiwá nurtures their spirits as well as their bodies. Naeto enters, compliments the kids. "You guys look great," and shares a brief chat with his son. At 7:30 sharp, Momiwá sends the children off with their driver. Then she fusses over Naeto's outfit, straightening his clothes with a familiar Daddy W, and he entrusts her with his card to pay the staff. Before he leaves, she squeezes his hands and prays for him, a subtle gesture that shows both respect and authority. When Momiwá hands out wages, she shows that her kindness extends beyond immediate family. She gives the security man, Siju, his envelope, and reminds him gently, "Make sure your wife gets it, so she can take care of the family." There's authority in her voice, but also warmth. Then it's Binta the housekeeper's turn. Momiwá notes that Binta has been distracted lately. When pressed, Binta bursts into tears and admits she's pregnant, impregnated by a school teacher who now wants nothing to do with the child. Momiwá's reaction? Calm and slightly amused. And he was ready to put it in, without protection. She chides, half laughing. This blend of empathy and humor is classic Momiwá. Rather than scolding Binta, she takes decisive action. She goes straight to the school, marches up to the teacher, and without yelling, exposes his behavior in front of his female colleague. She recounts how he's been trailing Binta like a fly, how he gleefully impregnated her, and is now trying to force her into an abortion. The other teacher is mortified and leaves. The cowardly teacher starts to beg. Momiwá calmly tells him, "I've made this easy for you. Just do the right thing." She even threatens to take his photo straight to the principal and to Gislova, so he would be popular if he doesn't step up. Her delivery is so disarmingly cheerful that he has no choice but to agree. With a smile, she calls him Teacher of the Year, my in-law, and leaves. It's one of the film's funniest scenes, indicating how Momiwá can be both nurturing and fierce. Later, she starts online shopping with Vida for a prom dress. Vida dislikes every modest dress Momiwá suggests and wants something more revealing. Instead of being harsh, Momiwá smiles and says, "That dress is for when you're 20, not 16. When Vida sulks, Momiwá warns, half joking, "If you keep that face, I'll leave." Vida quickly apologizes. Momiwá shares a gentle life lesson. If things don't go your way, don't get angry. Life isn't always balanced, she says. Wherever life pushes you, stand solid. It's advice born of experience. That evening, Momiwa sets up what looks like a romantic scene. She decorates Naeto's room with wine glasses, candles, and even a condom. She cooks an elaborate dinner and lays everything out beautifully. But when Naeto arrives, he's not alone. He's with another woman. The preparations were for her. Momiwa is quiet and efficient, but inside, you can feel her disappointment. She still serves them graciously, showing no jealousy. Instead, she channels her energy into the routine of running the house. The next morning, Naeto's new girlfriend, Jane, complains about how freely Momiwa moves around the house, as if she owns the place. Naeto tells her to relax. He trusts Momiwa completely. Jane isn't convinced. She confronts Naeto, saying she can't be with a man who subjugates his wife, implying that Naeto's arrangement with Momiwa is beneath her. She storms out, leaving Naeto unbothered, but Momiwa quietly amused. While Jane is leaving, Momiwa goes to Naeto's office to bring him lunch. The receptionist greets her warmly. Everyone there knows her and treats her like family. This shows how deeply she is woven into Naeto's life, even outside the home. Back at the house, Momiwa hears someone pounding the gate and goes to investigate. A well-dressed woman is outside, bag in hand, looking anxious and lost. She says she's Naeto's wife. Momiwa responds, "I am the madam of this house." The woman is taken aback. To stall, she plays a guessing game. "Are you the kid's teacher?" Naeto's girlfriend. The woman shakes her head. Finally, she blurts, "I'm Naeto's wife." Shocked, Momiwa slams the gate and runs inside, shouting, "Blood of Jesus." It's a comical moment that still carries emotional weight. When she regains composure, she brings the woman, Kiki, inside and has the gatekeeper leave them alone. Kiki marvels at how beautiful the house is and wonders who decorated it. Momiwa answers proudly, "This house and everyone who lives in it are my work of living." It's a graceful way of making her role clear without aggression. Kiki confesses that Naeto didn't tell her about Momiwa. He told her Kiki was dead. With tears in her eyes, Kiki explains she was young and foolish. Life was hard. Naeto had lost his job, and she felt they would starve. In a flashback, we see her packing a bag and promising little Vida that she'll be right back. She locks the children in the house and walks away. This memory stings, and even Momiwa can't hide her disapproval. "How could you leave your children like that?" she asks. Kiki tries to deflect, but it's clear she's ashamed. Still, she begs for a second chance and says she tracked them down through Naeto's LinkedIn profile and a helpful office colleague. Momiwa warns that forgiveness is Naeto's decision. She emphasizes that Naeto has not mentioned Kiki since the day she left. As far as the children know, Momiwa is their mother. When Kiki pleads, "You're a woman like me, please help me," Momiwa responds, "Naeto doesn't rush decisions. Only he can forgive you. Pray about it." That night, Momiwa sets Naeto's favorite meal on the table and discreetly prepares to raise Kiki's request. She smiles and says, "If I don't take care of you, who will?" He jokes and asks if she's planning to quit. Their banter ends when she quietly says, "A visitor came by. Kiki." At once, Naeto's demeanor changes from playful to cold. "Next time she sets foot in this house, call the police for trespassing," he snaps. When Momiwa tries to argue, he shuts down the conversation. This is the first time in the film he calls her by her real name, Chinonso, signaling how serious the matter is. Unable to drop it, Momiwa follows him and softly pleads, "Even God gives us second chances." Naeto's face darkens. He reminds her that Kiki abandoned their children, locked them inside, and ran off, possibly with the doctor who delivered their son. He recounts how he lost his job, went to 16 interviews with no success, and still found odd jobs to bring home money every day. Throughout this hardship, rumors of Kiki's affair spread, but he ignored them until the day he returned home to find her gone. His hurt and anger run deep, and he says firmly, "That woman isn't coming back. I won't forgive her, even if it means going to hell. I can't do it." The pain in his voice is raw, and Momiwá, though compassionate, can only listen. Momiwá's persistence doesn't waver. Kiki waits outside the house all afternoon, pleading for one last meeting. She promises she won't defend herself. She just wants to hear Naeto say, "Go away," to her face. Momiwá eventually relents and brings her in to wait. She sends the gatekeeper away and tells Kiki, "Naeto knows what you did, and it's very bad, but I'll help you see him. After that, whatever happens is up to him and God." Naeto arrives home and spots Kiki sitting cautiously on the sofa. Immediately, his fury ignites. He doesn't want their son to witness another argument, so he hands Binta some money and asks her to take Abel to the park. Anything he wants, get it. Effectively clearing the house. Once Abel is gone, Naeto erupts. "Get your dirty self off my sofa," he shouts. Kiki leaps up, trembling. Momiwá steps in, pleading, "Please, don't let your anger spoil things." She flatters him as the prince of beautiful ladies and reminds him that cruelty won't heal old wounds. Kiki sinks to her knees. Naeto's eyes are blazing, like they could boil a stone. But he hears Momiwá out. Kiki confesses her regret. Momiwá continues, gently but firmly. "They have you, but they need their mother too. I'm not their mother. Don't make me the one blocking her." She even quotes Romans 12:17. "Do not repay evil for evil." With tears streaming, she kneels beside Kiki and begs Naeto not to put her to shame. "In my life, I've only knelt for one person and got a no. Please don't make this the second time." The room is thick with tension and sorrow. Even the viewer feels a lump in their throat. Later that night, Kiki hugs Abel goodnight and asks about his sister, Vida. Naeto walks in and with barely concealed irritation calls Kiki, "Your guest." He instructs Momiwá to escort her out and lock the gate. Kiki whispers her thanks to Momiwá for letting her see the children at all. It's a small mercy, but it means everything to her. A week passes. During breakfast, Momiwá greets Naeto, but he ignores her. Just then the phone rings. It's the security guard asking if he should let someone in. Momiwá says, yes. Seconds later, Kiki appears in the doorway. Naeto slams his napkin down. "What class is Vida in? What position did Abel take last term? You don't even know your own children." He storms out, shouting to the neighborhood that he wants nothing to do with that woman. Momiwá rushes Kiki inside and assures her things will be alright, even though Naeto's anger feels like a storm cloud over the house. One evening, Abel approaches his father shyly. "Dad, can Mommy move in? I want to see her every day." Naeto is silent for a long moment, then finally nods. "I'll consider it." Abel lights up with joy. This small promise sets the stage for Kiki's return. Moving day arrives. Binta, the maid, asks Momiwá where to put Kiki's bag. "Dadiwa's room," Momiwá suggests, hopeful. Naeto overhears and snaps, "Don't you dare! If she can't stay in the guest room, she can leave." It's a harsh rebuke. Still, Momiwá whispers to Kiki, "At least you're inside now. Before you know it, you'll move to the main room." She remains optimistic, even as she watches Naeto's back recede down the hall. With Kiki now living in the guest room, she starts helping around the house. One morning she's sweeping, when Momiwa stops her. "It's not your job," Momiwa insists. Kiki laughs and says she wants to keep busy. She thanks Momiwa again for helping her reconnect with the kids and confesses she's still desperate for Naeto's forgiveness. "Don't worry," Momiwa reassures her. "I'll teach you the road to his heart." They hug like old friends. I still don't trust Kiki completely. There's been no real proof she deserves forgiveness, but Momiwa's heart is too big to ignore her. That night, Naeto comes home, hangs up his jacket, and is startled by Kiki emerging from his bathroom in nothing but a towel. She claims the guest toilet is broken. She smiles and tries to flirt. Momiwa rushes in with a plunger, completely aware of their ploy. Naeto gives her a look. He knows exactly what's happening. "There are plenty of toilets in this house," he says dryly. Kiki stammers, but Momiwa plays along, giggling. "Everyone's using theirs, that's why. I'll fix it." For now, their little scheme, creating chances for Naeto to see Kiki, works. At breakfast, Abel raves about how tasty the vegetable soup is. Momiwa grins and reveals, "Your mom cooked it." Naeto raises an eyebrow. "So you really went to that culinary school?" Kiki nods. She's been working hard to become a better mother and wife. She asks Naeto if she can take the kids out for a weekend getaway. He agrees, but only if Momiwa goes with them. Kiki accepts. She knows she hasn't earned enough trust to be alone with the children yet. That evening, Naeto visits Kiki in her room. He warns her, "It's been over a month. If you're going to run away again, do it now. I don't want the kids to get attached just to lose you again." She insists she was foolish once and will never repeat it. "If I lost everything," he asks, "would you still stay?" She swears she didn't leave because he was broke. He then confronts her about the rumor she ran away with Dr. Bamidele. Kiki's temper flares. "We never dated. He was my doctor," she says, revealing she suffered postpartum depression after Abil's birth and saw Bamidele for therapy. "I almost killed my children. I had to run away from those thoughts," she confesses. Naeto is stunned. He apologizes for missing the signs. They hug, and in that embrace, a decade of anger begins to thaw. For viewers, it's an emotional payoff, the first real step toward forgiveness. The next day, Kiki's belongings are moved from the guest room to a larger guest suite. Momiwa calls it her matrimonial bedroom, with a playful wink. Kiki tries to kneel in thanks, but Momiwa stops her. "No need to kneel. We're good." It's a quiet celebration. Kiki feels she's finally back with her family. Not everything is resolved, though. Kiki notices Vida wants nothing to do with her. She confides in Momiwa, who takes Vida out shopping for the prom dress they selected earlier. On the way, she encourages Vida to forgive her mother. Vida refuses. "I stopped coming home because of her," she snaps. Momiwa gently reminds her that anger poisons the soul, but Vida remains adamant. Late one evening, the security guard, Isi, frantically knocks on the door. He needs to speak to Momiwa. Kiki answers and stiffens when he asks for the big madam. She reminds him, with quite a bit of attitude, that she is madam. Isi nods, but insists he needs the other madam. Kiki slams the door in his face. This tiny exchange will spark a bigger conflict later. Later, Naeto and Momiwa are watching a movie and laughing together. Kiki walks in, sees them enjoying themselves, and narrows her eyes. She complains about mosquitoes in her room. "Could you spray?" she asks sweetly. Naeto points out that the insecticide is right next to the bed. She fumbles an excuse. Momiwa quickly volunteers to go and spray. In truth, mosquito is Kiki's thinly veiled insult. She's referring to Momiwa as a pest. The tension is thick, But Momiwa takes the high road and steps out to keep the peace. Night after night, Kiki's bitterness grows. She corners Naeto in bed. "Isn't it weird your maid lives here permanently?" she snaps. He corrects her. She's the housekeeper. She manages the staff, the house, the kids. "And you?" Kiki interrupts, implying that Momiwa shares his bed. Naeto is offended. "What kind of question is that?" Kiki insists. She feels treated like a lesser person. He refuses to argue and goes to sleep. It's clear that although Naeto and Kiki have taken steps toward reconciliation, jealousy has taken root. Some days later, Momiwa and Binta are celebrating. Binta is about to leave to live with her fiancé. Kiki barges in. Binta cheerfully greets her with, "Good morning, Kiki." And Kiki explodes. "Don't you ever call me that. Are we on the same level? I am your madame." Momiwa quickly corrects herself. "Good morning, madame." Still unsure why Kiki is so volatile. Kiki then orders Momiwa to get dressed and go to the market. "We don't need anything," Momiwa says, trying to avoid unnecessary errands. Kiki laughs, sarcastically. "Who are you to tell me what I need in my husband's house?" She sneers. She orders Momiwa again. Binta offers to go instead, but Momiwa whispers, "No, I'll go. You're pregnant. You need to rest." The power struggle is reaching its peak. The next morning at breakfast, Kiki inspects Momiwa like a drill sergeant. "Have you done everything I asked?" she demands. Momiwa answers calmly, "Yes, she was up since 4 a.m. and completed all chores." Kiki then mocks her for not playing her usual gospel music. "You told me to stop," Momiwa reminds her. Kiki pretends to be misunderstood. Then she delivers the final blow. "Address me as Ma. And don't be bold enough to sit at my dining table while I'm working." Momiwa quietly rises to leave. But Kiki isn't finished. She asks about Momiwa's family. Momiwa vaguely replies, "They're my yesterday." Kiki pushes. "A woman in her 40s should have her own family. This is my family, my husband, my children, my home. I'm grateful for what you've done. But now, it's time to move on." Momiwa doesn't flinch. "I'm not competing with you," she says. "I've been here for 10 years. You can't expect everything to be normal in 3 or 4 months." But the message is clear. Kiki wants her gone. Kiki, telling Momiwa to find a husband and have children before menopause, knocks. It's a cruel line, indicating how far their relationship has fallen. For viewers, this is a painful moment. The woman who once begged on her knees now wields her power cruelly. She shakes it off and faces Kiki. Her voice is steady but charged. "Kiki, you are wicked. Since Dadiwa traveled, you've been provoking me, so I'll leave. But these children, I see them as my family. That's why I'm still here, despite everything you've done." She reminds Kiki of the day she cried and begged to be let back into the house. How she fought for her as woman to woman. And now Kiki is turning on her. Is this good? Does it sit right in your conscience? Kiki takes off her glasses, stands up like she's ready for a fight. "Are you done ranting?" she says. Momiwa calmly replies. She's just speaking her mind. Suddenly, we cut to Momiwa in police custody, pleading she knows nothing about whatever she's accused of. She calls out for Kiki. No answer. The officers march her into a car and drive away. That night, Naeto returns home, calling Momiwa's phone over and over. It won't connect. Kiki greets him at the door with false warmth. She left. Kiki shrugs, slipping back inside. Suspicious, Naeto asks the gatekeeper Isi where he was. Isi says Kiki sent him to price goats in the market, leaving her alone in the compound. Inside, Kiki spins a tale. Momiwa got a worrying call and left for a family emergency. and she even claims she tried to notify Naeto, but his number wasn't going through. She slides into his lap, purring, "Forget about her. Go have your bath." Days pass. Kiki is no longer cooking. Meals are ordered in. Naeto grows uneasy. "I can't shake this off, he says. Kiki waves it away. "Let's just pray for her." The police visit with bad news. No leads, no contacts, no surname for Momiwa. She's been in his house for over 10 years. Yet he realizes he doesn't know her family or friends. Even Vida admits she knows nothing. The police mention a letter saying she left voluntarily, but Naeto refuses to believe it. Then comes a shock. When Naeto bought his current house, he also bought one for Momiwa. Kiki's face freezes at the revelation. The police visited the house, but Momiwa had rented it out and chosen to stay with Naeto's family instead. Tension in the house boils over. Vida yells for pads. Momiwa always handled that. Naeto heads to the pharmacy, clueless about what brand to buy. That's where fate intervenes. He runs into Dr. Bamidele. Naeto thanks him for helping Kiki through postpartum depression. The doctor stares blankly. "Your wife? That gold digger?" The truth crashes down. Dr. B says, Kiki ran away with him to Abuja years ago, only returning 6 months ago after seeing Naeto on the news. Because he had money. They even got married. Furious, Naeto storms home. "We're not divorced, Kiki. You came back, begged for forgiveness, and used Momiwa to plead for you. All to get my money." Kiki protests, but he's done listening. Their argument is interrupted when Vida calls from her room. "Dad, you got the wrong pads." Kiki snaps back at the girl, sparking Naeto's defense of his daughter. When he says, "Momiwa is a better mother than you," Kiki spits venom. "Then let's see how she mothers your children from prison." It's a chilling slip, and Naeto demands answers. We finally get the backstory. Years ago, after Kiki abandoned her family, Naeto begged his landlady to watch the kids while he worked. She refused. Meanwhile, Momiwa, selling drinks at a construction site, found the children crying and took them to her shop. Naeto arrived to find Vida there, but Abel was at a neighbor's getting cleaned up. When Momiwa asked about their mother, Naeto lied. She's dead. Momiwa offered to care for the children in repayment for a kindness Naeto had once shown her. Eventually, Naeto got a job in Ibadan and asked Momiwa to come along. She hesitated. What about her small business? He promised to set her up with a store. That's how she became part of the family. In the present, Naeto orders Kiki to tell him who took Momiwa or leave before daybreak. Then a delivery arrives, a graduation dress for Vida. The sender, Momiwa. Naeto rushes to the boutique for her dress, but they refuse to give it. On graduation day, Vida refuses to go without Momiwa. Naeto insists she cares. Soon, a glam team arrives, makeup brushes in hand. He casually asks where they're from, then smiles. Momiwa walks in, glowing like a queen. She embraces Vida, attends the party, and later speaks privately with Naeto. "I've never had a family before. I'm happy when I'm with you." At the table, Vida teases, "My friend thinks you're married. Maybe you should marry her." Naeto laughs it off, but later he looks at Momiwa and asks quietly, "What do you think? Did he just propose?" The movie ends on that note, leaving our hearts full. And that's our full recap of Momiwa. If you enjoyed reliving the drama, suspense, and heartfelt moments of this film, hit that like button so YouTube knows to show you more great Nollywood recaps. Have thoughts about Naeto, Kiki, or Momiwa? Drop your takes in the comments. I read every single one, and love hearing your theories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next breakdown of Nollywood's most gripping stories. We've got more recaps, reviews, and behind-the-scenes insights coming your way. Until next time, keep watching, keep laughing, and keep the love for great stories alive.